Hello and welcome to today's NinjaTrader ecosystem event, trading tips for entry, exit, stop loss, and analysis. My name is Thomas, and I'm a platform representative here at NinjaTrader. Now, this webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is a technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the NinjaTrader brokerage team using the phone number or email on the screen. I'll also be posting that into the chat. And if you are new to NinjaTrader, please make sure you sign up for a free NinjaTrader account, which includes access to 14 days of complimentary real market data. Our platform is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. You can get your free account by clicking the link on the screen and then clicking Get Started under the Welcome section. And before I turn over the mic to Paul and Sai, it is important to understand that futures, foreign currency, and options trading all contain substantial risk and is not suitable for every investor. It is possible to lose all or one more initial, or excuse me, all or one more than initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be used without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Also, please remember that these trading solicitations are not solicitation or recommendation, but simply educational in nature. Thank you again for joining us today. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome to NinjaTrader webinar, Sai and Paul.
Hi, everyone. Sai, are you there?
Hey, everyone. This is Sai here.
Hey there. Real quick, I'm going to let Sai start. I just wanted to jump in for a second. If you guys have questions, just hold until the end. This is probably going to be one of the shortest webinars you've been on. We're pretty efficient on this, and Sai's going to go ahead and just run through the room and what he offers, and then I will jump in on the NinjaTrader setup that I'm going to share with you today using just the platform, no third-party indicators, anything like that, and then I'll be happy to answer a few questions after I show my slides. So go ahead, Sai, take over.
Hey, and welcome, everyone. Like Paul said, we won't be taking up too much of your time. We're so happy that you're all here. So a little bit about myself. I'm founder of Pinnacle Trading. I started it back in college to really help other people learn how to trade, invest, and get started in the stock market, whether it's just for fun or serious. We welcome all sorts of traders and investors in our chat room. And I've been trading for more than 7 years now, 7-8 years, and I've done a lot of serious training myself, education. I have a course that I put together to help others, and I have a completely free chat room where you can just join, have a great time, learn something about trading and so on. I've traded equities, options, and a little bit of futures, and I've also done some prop trading experience with some funds. And also, I create a lot of advanced trading strategy and optimization, which means any of my trading platforms, I use a lot of these tools, even with NinjaTrader. A lot of these tools and order flows that they offer that you don't even have to purchase. A lot of them are included in the nice brokerage that you have, which is a great thing. It's just a matter of how to put these together and minimize the noise. That way you can just focus on your mindset and your growth and what your goals are with trading and investing. So I've done a lot of technical analysis using research, moving averages, volume, level 2. I've done everything from penny stocks to all the way up to large cap stocks, anything from stocks and options. And also, I'll go ahead and start the screen share right now. Please type letter Y if you can see that over here. And if you have any questions, please do just post in the chat. And if you have any questions, just make sure to write them down, and we'll have you ask them at the end. And I'm a mentor and educator. Not just I don't just sell a course and say, hey, go through this. I put a course together and I do one-on-one to make sure that you are confident when you're trading and investing in your stock market journey. And so is Paul. We're both very helpful. You can message us anytime, 24/7, and we'll get back to you like soon as possible. And we'd love to help out people, whether you're new, whether you're 30 years old, or whether you're just getting started, whether you're fresh out of high school. We just love seeing all types of traders in our chat room. So I'll hand it off to Paul now to introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so I trade professionally now. I manage some funds, and then I have also traded for equities trading desk, options, and now I do a lot of futures trading. So what I'm doing today is I met Cy a while back, and I liked what he was trying to build with the room. And I'm not here to offer any kind of alert service or sell you a bunch of third-party indicators that you're going to have to install and support and all that. I'm going to show you how to use. Really, I'm going to keep it simple today. I just want to run through a setup using the tools that are included with NinjaTrader. You do not have to buy more indicators that are out there. I see a lot of people that get taken advantage of. A lot of tools are just basically rebranded existing things that are already available out there if you know where to look. And a lot of people just don't know where to look, so they end up buying and spending a lot of money, and then they realize that it wasn't exactly what was advertised. So what I want to do today is just kind of simplify it for you. I'm going to show you what's on there. NinjaTrader is probably one of the best fully featured platforms I've come across, and I've tried many platforms. I've tried them all, actually. If you name it, I've probably tried it. And I have accounts at several brokers, including NinjaTrader, so I'm very familiar with other platforms and how to use them. But really, everything you need if you're looking to get into this is already on the platform. If you have the only caveat is you would need the lifetime version of the platform. So that's something that at the end, Thomas can answer questions on that. I can answer questions if you want to DM me in the chat room in our Discord server as well, and I can get back to you one-on-one if we don't have time today. So other than that, go ahead, Sai, take it away.
Thank you, Paul, for the intro. So just a little bit about Pinnacle Trading. So I started this chat room a while back towards the end of college, and because just to build an ecosystem for all types of traders, investors, to just provide you with the right trade ideas and education. Main focus is on education because we want you to learn, become a confident trader, investor in the stock market, whether it's stocks, options, futures, anything that the market offers. We want you to be confident and also be able to learn on your own individually and also to be able to grow. So Pinnacle Trading was mainly founded to make trading accessible for end users. Our mission is to provide live market trade ideas. That means we don't put out alerts that happened days ago. We provide it live on the spot. So if I'm taking a trade right now, I'm going to try my best to call it out early on as I can. And when I'm looking to exit the trade, I'll put out a trade plan where my exit, stop loss, all of that is. And I'll show you examples in just a few seconds. And we provide proper guidance and education, and we'll teach you step by step. We don't just throw information at you. We actually make sure you understand it. And it's a two-way street. You come back to us with any questions, any ideas, and if you want us to analyze any stocks and what your trading style is and your investing style, whether you're a long-term investor or you want to do some day trading or swing trading, we have the education and the knowledge and the guidance to provide you all of that and guide you in the right way. So that's our consistent methodology and education so that you can trade or invest without any intimidation. So this is a past day trade example. If everybody is caught up and can see the screen, okay, just type Y or yes in the chat. And also, so this is initial alert date. So this was on April 10th, 2023. This was a trade on TQQQ. If you don't know what that is, it's a 3x leverage ETF on a QQQ, NASDAQ. And this one I called out at 9:28 a.m. So just a little bit before market was opening. I'll alert my chart analysis for the day, the stocks I'm looking at, and what's going on in the day, kind of like a quick update, a quick freshener on the day. And I'll say where I'm looking to enter at. And I just say this is a starter position. That means, quarter size or third of the size of the position size that you normally take. And I added at 26.4 on the pullback, and then added a little bit more at 26.25 because I saw a solid alert, a solid baseline. So I lowered my average to about 26.45. And I say, now that it's over 26.6, you can take profits on this one. Again, this is the day trade. And then I'm looking for 27 to exit, and the stock kept going. So you notice how I averaged down on this position accordingly to the support resistance levels I called out. You're not going to see in this screenshot my trade idea plan. That's in the charts and analysis tab, but you'll see where my entry, exit, add, stop loss, all of those are. But this is just a trade alert idea tab. So this is where I call out. So this is where people mainly go to. And then in the other tabs, they'll look at the trade analysis. And then I say I exited 2/3 of the position at 26.83. So we traded this from about 26.5 to about 26.83. And then it went over 27.1. And then I sold the rest of the positions. So that's why I say I scale in and out of the trades. And that's it. We took a nice day trade, and that's it for the day. So any questions on that, please feel free to go ahead and post that in the chat. And this is an options day trade example. So this was the SPY calls. I'll call out the expiration date, the strike, and like what type of position. If it's a gamble play, if it's something swing trade or hold overnight, I'll call all of that out. So I entered at 3.83. I averaged down a little bit on the pullback because you can't always get a perfect entry, and it went down a little bit more. And then, as soon as SPY calls went up, we saw the pullback. I usually, get in on initial entry, start a position. I'll add on the way down, way up, depending on how the position is playing, because I want to get a better average. If it's pulling back to support level and a bounce, if I see that, I'll take that. But if it's going up in my way, then I'll also add on the way up, because if something's going my way, I want to make more money. So then the SPY calls went at profit, and then they went all the way to about 4.5 from about 3.65, 3.7 average. So a solid return on that. And that was it on the option day trade example. And this is the chat room layout. I did post the links for the chat room. I will post that again over here in the chat room. So if you look back at the chat tab, you can take a look, but I'm going to put that in here again. And that's completely free to join. All these trade ideas that I'm calling out, they're completely free for everyone. So there's nothing you have to pay to be in the chat room. We have a separate section for VIP members where I mentor you on the advanced strategies, because a lot of these strategies are from the course itself. So if you don't have the course, you're not going to understand the strategy. So I have a VIP section where you can ask me directly for course members. But this is a free chat room layout. As you can see, everything except the VIP access, it's completely free to everyone. So it's trading prep. That's where we have watch list and analysis, trade tab. And then we have our trade ideas. This is where I'll put my day trade, swing trade, long-term ideas. We don't have the lotto ideas anymore. And we have VIP access that I just talked about. So that's where we'll do advanced strategies with stock options like debit spreads, credit spreads, straddles, butterflies, all of those. So if you're interested in those, if you already do those, if you do any like options income play or weekly expiration plays, all of those will be in there. And then we also do commodities trading, and other people are interested in that. We also do some futures on those like natural gas, oil, gold, etc. And we also have our personal section, our feedback section. We like to post our winning trades, our testimonials on how we're doing, all the education links that I think are helpful, and our goals and dreams. Because we want to trade not just for very, very seriously. We also want to trade for fun and also enjoy the rewards that it offers. And I also do voice chat trading sometimes on a live trading, or it'll also be like a weekly webinar where we'll just recap the trades, why I took the trades. I'll also post these videos on my YouTube channel as well. I'll post a link in the chat room. If you scroll up, all my social media links are over there. So as I talked about, the only thing we offer is a course, because that's education. We don't sell you any scripts. We don't sell you any indicators. We don't sell you any of that nonsense. I don't believe in that. And as Paul covered, he doesn't believe in that either. We sell you education. Taking this course, it's going to cut your learning curve and give you all the tools that you need to become an educated trader and investor in the stock market. Education is important in any field, whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you want to be a technician, whatever you want to be, you need the education to do it. If I could go back personally, I would put all my money, thousands and thousands of dollars, into education, because rather than losing that in penny stocks and stocks I didn't understand, and the next hype stock like Zoom or Tesla or whatever it is, I would have put it all on, double down on education, maybe put a couple $1,000s on books, materials, courses, things like that. Wish I could learn for myself and go back in time and learn for myself, and pay me like unlimited amount of money just for the education, because it's going to pay you back. And this course includes lifetime access and updates. I'm always updating the course and the chat room and all my private YouTube streams. Also, you have exclusive VIP access and lots more. So if you guys are ready to take your stock market education to the next level, then this is a course for you. And we also have a great offer at the end of the presentation. So just stick around for a little bit longer and you'll see that offer for the course. And this is a limited time sale on that. And this education, like I said, if I could go back, it would just be education, just dedicate all my time to paper trading and also educating myself through books, videos, courses, everything I can get my hands on. Even a mentor like me, I'll teach you personally one-to-one. And so will Paul. He'll teach you everything about NinjaTrader. I'll teach you about all the platforms that I use, all the indicators, and pretty much all my secrets in the stock market. Everything is in the course and everything is with me and Paul. So we'll teach you all of that. And education is just super key, whether it's stock market or you want to do any other investing or trading or anything like that. So this is exactly what the course breaks down into. The first main thing, like I talk about, is education. So this is where you can completely understand the market, everything from how news works, how the economy works, how the market is affected. And this is where you master the basics, candlestick patterns, chart patterns, volume, technical indicators. If I lost you already, then that means you're going to be starting with the basics of the basics in the stock market. And you may have heard of these things, but you may not know how they actually work, but you'll learn what a candle wick is, what a candlestick is, what patterns there are, chart patterns, how to read the volume, things like that. And we also teach you risk management, how to manage overall portfolio risk. So whether you're taking a 1-to-4 ratio type of trade, which means you risk $1 to make $4, or whether you want to be more aggressive. Let's say you're a younger person, you want to be more aggressive, you have some extra money that you can put out and you want to take trades that offer you risking $1 to make $20. We offer all of these trade ideas and strategies to help you achieve that. And the trading psychology. So we want you to mainly overcome human emotions and any market noise and to trade like a robot, just like a system. So if trade's not going in our way, we'll cut it. If trade's going in our way, we'll look to add, make more money, and scale out on the positions. So like I called out right here, this day trade example, and even this swing trade options day trade example, all of these trades, there's a certain levels that I add, and there's a certain levels that the markets move up and down. And I know how to find those patterns, and I know where to add, where to exit, where the money is flowing in, flowing out, and things like that. So we want to trade you help you learn the psychology to overcome blowing up your account and just gambling. It's not a casino. There's a very, very systematic way in the stock market, and we'll teach you how to do that. And once you've actually overcome the emotions, the psychology, the basics of it, then you actually go into pushing the buttons. What is that? That's trading and investing. That's where you actually learn how to trade stocks, options, take advantage of any type of market in any type of moment. That means whether market's in a crash, a recession, market's in a bull market, it's all-time highs. We'll teach you different strategies to take advantage of all those type of plays. And I understand money and risk management, technical analysis, and learn how simple it can be to create an investment portfolio. If you're here just for long-term investing, we have that covered too. If you don't want to sit at a desk and trade all day, or if you don't even have an hour to trade every day, completely fine. If you're just a long-term investor, you just want to put your money in and look at it every month, every year, and so on. We have different long-term investment options that you can learn from the course and apply to yourself that suits your lifestyle. And then a lot of these, once you've learned all that, then you'll learn my secrets. These are going to be your killer cutting edge techniques, which are going to go from making 1% a week to anything higher, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% a week. There's different type of plays. So we don't guarantee anything like that. Of course, that's in the disclosures. But if you want to make X amount a week, X amount a month, we'll show you how to get to that level and the strategies that can help you. So that's what the course offers. And here's what we'll go into an NinjaTrader chart example. And Paul is going to be talking about the order flows, cumulative delta, and how to see the money flow index and different type of things like that. So all these are very important that I went over. You want to go through the course, learn the strategies, learn the examples, and all this has been simplified into one single course. So as you can see in the course box in the bottom left, trading, investing strategies, money management, stocks, options, and lifetime access. You don't need to buy a separate course for day trading. You don't need to buy a separate course for swing trading, something for investing, something for money management. Everything is all in one, and it's a super low price, in my opinion. We don't charge you $1,000. We don't even charge you 500. We'll show you how low the price of the course is at the end. So just stick around for a little bit. I'm going to hand it over to Paul. If you guys can see the presentation, okay, just go ahead and click yes. And if any of the links don't work, just give me a heads up in the chat and I'll help you out while Paul is talking about the NinjaTrader examples.
Thank you, Sai. So in case you guys didn't notice, and I don't know if you mentioned it, Sai is an engineer by trade. So the reason I mention that is he is very methodical at explaining things. So if you do have questions or you do decide to move forward and learn more about how he trades options, obviously today we're talking a little bit about stocks, options, and I'm going to shift over to futures because that's probably what most of you are here for. But the reason I do this with Sai and we're kind of pushing this out together is because I get a lot of people that I talk to that are either learning or have gone through the ups and downs in trading, and they realize that there is more than one way to trade and there's also more than one market to trade. So I do recommend considering expanding your horizons. If all you trade is futures and you're doing really well with it, by all means, stick with it. But if you're finding that, sometimes futures aren't giving you the results that you expect, there's other markets to trade that do generate, potentially good results. And that's what you would learn with Sai as well, jumping over into the option side and stocks. And you can kind of carry any of the material in the course over to any of those markets, including futures. But I just wanted to mention that because a lot of you might have specific questions, and Sai, with his background, he's the perfect person to answer those questions for you. So, all right, I'll go ahead and jump into it right now. I really want to talk about NinjaTrader's order flow tools. I think they're underrated. I don't think people really pay attention to them because Ninja kind of rolled it out as kind of a bundled tier with their lifetime license, and they're not charging for it. But I've gone through them and I've seen a lot of third-party indicators that sell kind of a version of these order flow tools on steroids. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, save your money. Just stick with the platform. It works. That's all you need. You don't need to go and spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on third-party add-ons to learn how to trade order flow. Okay, so right there, that alone should save you a bundle of money. Put that in your trading account. You don't have to send it to me unless you want to. But let's go ahead and start with the first slide. So order flow, VWAP, QM Delta. Now, I'm doing the presentation on a mobile device. I apologize. I wanted to show some live examples on my platform, but I could not get my internet fast enough to connect to the platform along with Zoom. So I switched over to my mobile. So we're just going to go off the slides today, and then I can do one-on-ones. There aren't that many people in here today. So if you guys message me, you go to the Discord. Again, it's free. So we're not going to try to sell you anything there. If you want to message me, it's free. I'm happy to answer questions and maybe even jump on with you and help you get the order flow charts set up the way I'm showing them here and the way I have it on my own workspace. But essentially the first one I want to show, and I'll teach you a basic setup, a very simple setup. It works. The key is to trade early in the morning. First 2 hours you want to be done, and that's it. You move on with your day. You get your ticks out of the market that you're trading, whether it's the NQ, the ES, or the YM. Those are the three I'm going to focus on. Yes, you could trade any other market that's tradable in futures, but those three, the indexes, tend to give you a lot of liquidity. They tend to have a little more follow through than other instruments such as crude oil, which can be very whipsawy and it can hurt you. So let's focus on that. And then furthermore, now you can trade the micro contracts. So you can have your chart set up on the standard contract on the ES, NQ, YM, but then on your execution side, you can just use the order entry system or the DOM and trade specifically the micro contract. So the MES, the MNQ, so on and so forth. So, and if some of you don't know what that is, I'll talk to you about it, separately, or message me and I'll try to fill you in on what that is. But it's a great way to learn if you're just getting into it or you have a small account, you don't have a lot of capital. Size-wise, everyone should trade relative to their own account size. So I can't recommend what size or how many contracts you should trade. It should be a percentage of risk that you're willing to take in that account with the dollars that are in there. So that's pretty standard. I think everyone kind of goes over that. So you all should be very familiar with that. Order flow VWAP. So this is one of the tools that's included in the order flow tools. It's probably my main go-to is the VWAP indicator. But what I like about it is the way that Ninja has implemented this is it kind of shades the regions for you. You can focus on the VWAP and the direction of price and the angle of the VWAP. And then below that, you'll see there's a cum delta indicator. And what I look for in this chart is first couple hours in the day, I like to maybe wait 15, 20 minutes, establish an opening range and see where the market's going. And then from there, you're going to take initially a test of VWAP or the first pullback to VWAP in the direction of the trend. So if there is a trend. Something Sai mentioned earlier that I wanted to mention also is there are days when maybe there are no trades or the market is so choppy that you just don't want to trade or you shouldn't trade. That's perfectly fine. Just because the markets are open doesn't mean that you should be trying to trade, because there's so many ways to trade and there's a lot of different things that institutions do on a daily basis that don't always coincide with your strategy or your setup. And so you have to also learn to recognize that there are some days when you should just sit it out, go ahead and watch the charts if you want to, but maybe not necessarily take a trade. So what I'm looking for in this setup, in this specific slide, is for price to establish a range. I then draw lines, horizontal lines on the upper and lower range of that price that's been kind of the highs and low of that so far in that session, whether it's the first 15 minutes or the first 30 minutes opening range. It doesn't really matter. You got to find what works for you. I'll show you some examples of that as well. If I don't have them on the slides here, I'm not sure, but if I do, you can look at those. If not, I can show them on my own platform at a later date for you guys. And once we have an established price range, I look for that pullback into VWAP, and then you're going to take a trade off of that. And so I go into more specifics onto your stop loss, how wide that stop should be. You probably want to give it some room, and depending on the market you're trading, the ES is going to be a little bit different than the NQ. The YM is going to be a little different than the NQ. So as long as you pick one market, you focus on learning and getting good with it, that's probably the best strategy. I'm not going to recommend one market over the other. I trade ES, I trade NQ, I trade CL, and then I do also trade YM lately. But when I see markets start slowing down in one, I tend to switch away from it or move away from it and focus on where I see more liquidity or more activity. Sai, if you could go to the next slide for me. Right, this is another indicator included with NinjaTrader. Again, a lot of third-party software vendors try to sell this to people for, I don't know, I've seen prices range from $500 for this all the way up to like $1,900. It blows my mind. Ninja did a really nice job with this tool. It shows you the orders within the bars, so then you can kind of see where the bid ask, where order size is coming in relative to the bid ask on the candle, and then you can kind of see where reversals may be likely to occur. Nothing is 100%. Sometimes orders get put in and orders get canceled, so we can't ever rely fully on this. But this is another tool that you would implement and kind of combine to use it with your VWAP and your cum delta. And this shows you a lot of interesting stats. So you have not only the order size within the candles, okay? So if this is a 3-minute candle, you're gonna see, and you zoom in on that, you're gonna see the actual bid ask that was executed, not the orders that were sitting on the dome, but these were actually orders that were filled to create that candle. For those of you that don't know what this is, so I'm not going to elaborate too much on it because you've probably seen it. A lot of people have come across it. If you don't, feel free to message me and I'll give you more details about it at another time. Below that, you see the stats for those candles. You have volume, you have the buy volume, you have the sell volume. It shows you the cumulative delta. What you would focus on, in my opinion, what I would focus on the stats below the candles is typically the volume and the cumulative delta, or the delta change, meaning the change in that delta. So as you can see, when price hit the lows on the example slide, we had The cumulative delta was approximately negative 337, negative 411, and then we started seeing a reversal as that negative became less negative. Went from 400 to 360 to 259. And what it was price doing? Price was rising. We had people step in and take those orders and move it higher. And so price proceeded to move approximately 2 to 3 points. So not a huge move, but this is just one example to kind of show you what that data is supposed to. We never used to be able to see this really in a candle. And on NinjaTrader 7, I don't think it really existed. I know there was probably some third-party tools that you could have got, and you probably paid a lot of money for them if you have them. But now Ninja is able to build that into the platform. It's included, again, as long as you have the right data feed, you can get this information on your chart. So that's all I really wanted to show you there. Order flow cum delta below the stats of the bars kind of just gives you further confirmation. You see that the candles are very thin and narrow, but you're really just focused on, are they moving higher or lower? And is that zero, below zero, or moving above zero? And you can see that it did track price very closely, but really the cumulative delta data was probably the most important thing on this slide. So just remember that, take notes of it, and feel free to ask any questions if you like on that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. These are volume profiles, guys. This is where I base all of my levels that I draw on my charts are based on volume profiles. So I just have the graphic. There's nothing special about the colors on this. You can customize them however you want. This is, I think, the volume profile with the heat. I think they call it it's like a heat version that kind of shows you where most of the orders were taking place in the bright orange, or the dark orange, I should say. And then as orders lifted, or the lighter colors show that there was less trades executed at those other areas. But really what I'm focused on here is just the highest trading, the point of control. We have a value area. I'm going to take and draw my lines at the highest traded levels. And if price hasn't retested those levels, that's another concept called a virgin price level, which I can elaborate further another time. But really combining this with the volume profile that I showed you on the first, with the VWAP I showed you on the first slide, and the cumulative delta data that you can get intrabar with the candles. This is all kind of coming together. So this is kind of what I just want to show you real briefly. Using the volume profiles on the charts going back several days, you can draw levels on your chart for that morning. Very quick. You just go back, you look, and you find out where was price most, I guess, where was most of the auction interest at that point in time, and at what price. And those are really the important levels. When you hear people saying that they have magic formulas for support and resistance areas, or where price tends to gravitate to, that is complete nonsense. There's no magic formula. There's no magic mathematical formula for pivot levels or anything like that. What you're looking for is where price traded. And that's what volume profile shows you. It shows you where the money, whether it's institutional money or retail money, where everybody was trading and at what price, and those are the most active levels, and those are the most important levels. That's what you should have on your chart, and that's what you should highlight. Go ahead to the next slide, please. Here's a multi-day profile. Again, it's showing very similar information to the previous one. It just looks a little bit different. I just kind of wanted you to see that, and this one has the numbers. It shows the values, kind of highs and lows, and then you'll see like the point of controls, and you can take that for the last, you really don't need to go more than a couple days if you're day trading, okay? Anything more than that, you could do like a 2-week profile, and then maybe use the most traded levels to kind of show you like a weekly pivot area, but that's really only important if price is near that area. If price isn't anywhere near that area, then really you shouldn't be focused on that. If it's trending that direction or toward one of those areas, then maybe start to pay attention to it as a potential target area, maybe where you might exit a position, or where you might try to trade a reversal off of that area. So this is a multi-day volume profile. You can go to the next slide, please. Here's a 2-week profile. So we have on the left, we have price, and then you see the smaller profiles. Those are for each day or each session. And then on the right of the chart, you'll see a 2-week composite profile. That shows me all the levels for the past 2 weeks. And this is I believe it's a crude oil chart. So this is a CL chart. It shows me all the levels of past 2 weeks. I then can go and draw my horizontal support and resistance areas based on that composite on my intraday chart for the morning that I'm going to use to place trades with. And only my areas of focus would only be on those areas closest to, in this case, you see that the high was 71.15 and the low was 70.52 roughly, or excuse me, 69.76 for that session. So those are where I'm going to draw my areas. And if you look at the 2-week composite profile, what do you notice? You notice 71.50 was very, very active on the 2-week profile on the right-hand side. And then you also notice that 69.70s was very, very highly traded as well. A lot of volume, a lot of activity. That's where price liked to be. And so those are important levels to me. But price bounced off of that, rejected. It kind of chopped through there a few times, and then it took off and it went up towards 70.52. So that 2-week profile already showed that level. Okay, that didn't generate on that session. It had been accumulating for the last 2 weeks. And that's what built that 2-week profile out for me. And that's kind of a key thing that you can look at to kind of show you where is price likely to go, where is it likely to stop, or where do traders really want to get into this thing. So to me, the 2-week profile is good. And composite profiles is excellent tool to use to kind of just give you further levels of confirmation. So learn how to use it. It's very simple to set up on the chart. NinjaTrader offers it. You don't need to buy it. It's there. It's included in the tools. Next slide, please. I don't think I have that many left. Okay, so on this one, I think I was trying to show you guys some Confluence. We have, in this case, I believe, what are we looking at? ES? I think that's an ES chart. Yes. So we have the profiles on the left of the session, and then those are the lines that I would draw on my intraday chart. That's a 3-minute chart. Nothing special. You can use range charts. You can use tick charts. I use minute charts and tick charts. If I use, sometimes I'll even put Renko bars or something like that, but really it's up to you. I like regular candlesticks as well because for me, it's like a cleaner chart. I can just see price action. And that's what I like to look at. But some people want a Renko bar or a Heikin-Ashi bar because it shows them kind of a trend coloration on the chart. And psychologically, people are more comfortable when they see a trend. They're able to maybe stick with a trade longer or enter a trade or stay in it. So whatever works for you, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what kind of specific candles you need to use. They all work. Everyone has their thing. So just find what works for you, what you're comfortable with, what gives you a little more confidence in your steps. And really the point of this is just to show you the levels I drew that were already showing on the volume profile, guys. I didn't have any magic indicators, nothing. It was just my levels were all based on my volume profiles. I do a horizontal line. You right click on the chart. It says horizontal line, and then I just color it yellow and I make it a little thicker so that I can see what's happening. And I drew that line. That's just a straight horizontal line. Look what price did almost that entire session, guys. I didn't draw those, and I'm not, you can't really, I'm not cherry picking. That's just one day. If you do this on any 3-minute chart on any given session, you're going to see how well these levels tend to react or how well price reacts around these areas. I can't make this up. So go and see for yourself. If you've never looked at a volume profile chart or you've never tried to base your support and resistance areas off of this, go do it. You'll see it right away. There's no secret here. There's no other magic sauce. You just have to put the time into getting comfortable using it, and then you throw it up on your charts. I've worked with a lot of institutional guys that trade for decades, and you'd be amazed at how simple the charts are. They have even less on their charts than I do. And I've seen guys that trade off point and figure charts, which hardly anyone uses anymore. What else? Plain charts with no indicators at all. And again, so there are ways to do this. You don't need to go and have 100 squiggly lines and oscillators and RSI and MACDs and moving averages. You don't need that. If it helps you, great. If it's confusing you, then you need to take it off. Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. And again, I'm just going through these slides, guys. So if you have questions, keep them, go ahead and type them in, and I'll try to get to them at the end. But I really want to crank through this because I know some of you have other things to do. So I'm trying to be as efficient at time as possible here. So this is order flow VWAP volume profile. This is just a second example. I just wanted to show you, I threw the market watch indicator up from NinjaTrader on the top there. All that's showing me is what the markets kind of did for the day in a histogram format. It's a nice little tool that Ninja has built into the platform. So I threw it up there just so you guys see it. And it's a nice little, and this is a fun on the ES. You see the levels there on the volume profile that developed. And then on the minute chart on the ES is where I drew the horizontal lines along. You can see on that chart as well, along with those lines, you can see the VWAP indicator that I showed in the first slide. Okay. So my goal though with VWAP, to me, here's a pro tip. I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of people that talk about VWAP trading or use the VWAP, they're not familiar with this or they don't know it. But VWAP loses effectiveness as the session continues throughout the day. So in my opinion, the most effective time of day to use the VWAP is the first couple hours of the session. After that, you're getting so much trade volume coming through that the VWAP starts to lose kind of the, I don't want to say the power, but really where price is most responsive tends to be earlier in the session, if that makes sense. Okay. Not that it can't work towards the close. I just prefer not to trade it towards the close. I like to be done. I want to be out of there. You know, I'm on Pacific time, so I'm already up at 5:30 in the morning, getting ready to trade. So I really want to be done trading by like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. at the latest. I don't want to sit on the charts till 1 p.m. Okay. I'm sure those of you on the East Coast probably feel the same way. You'd love to be done the earlier, the better. So I recommend using the first earlier part of the session to execute your trades. If they panned out, great. If they didn't, guess what? You didn't blow out your account. You followed your money management. Shouldn't matter. You have another day the next day. So anyways, that was my little tip on VWAP. I recommend it being used earlier in the session for a more reliable signal. And that's it. You can go to the next slide. Same thing here. I just had a couple examples. I didn't know how much time we were going to need. So just another chart. This one is a 3-minute, different prices, different areas. So the levels are different areas. I think it's a different day, but we can go on to the next one. There's really nothing there that I want to go over. Market depth. On this. I think I drew a couple of supply arrow. You can see that the bid offer was much off the low there, and the delta confirmed that buyers were stepping in, and that's really all I want to show, like what price did. Now this chart shows chart shows about a 17-point range, guys. So from that low of 44.01, I would say price reversed and went up to 44.17 further than that. So that was a 17-point range just based on supply and delta. Okay, and if you combine this with your VWAP indicators, your levels, your support and resistance levels, or supply and demand levels, whatever you want to call them, you use all of these tools, and these are all included with NT8, you know, in the order flow tools suite. So that's it. That's all I want to show there. Next, I think that's the last one. Is that the last slide?
Hey, Paul, your audio was coming in a little choppy over there. Can you do a quick recap on this slide?
On which one? The last one?
On this slide that I'm on right now. Yeah, the last one.
Okay, I see is that the order flow? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just drew the arrows there on supply and delta. There's a 17-point range if you look at the price on the right-hand side. So off of that supply area low, buyer stepped in and price rallied about 17, let's say 16 points roughly, and it was confirmed with Delta. And then the key there is you're not going to trade off of this alone. This isn't a standalone trading signal, but you're going to use this in a small, you're going to have this on a chart next to your VWAP chart, next to your volume profile charts. And really the volume profile charts, you don't even need to keep them up, guys. Once you get your levels for the day and you draw them on your main chart for that session that you're going to be trading off of, that's it. You can move those volume profile charts away. You can close them because you can always reload them again later, but you can just get rid of them to clean up your screen, and you just have the minimal amount of charts necessary. So you might have like this market depth chart. You might have the trade detector chart, which unfortunately I don't have a slide of because I couldn't get it to work properly with my data feed. So I'm going to have to look into that. But and then you can have your VWAP chart. So like your 3-minute or your tick chart or your Renko chart, whatever you're using, along with this market depth and cumulative delta. And these are going to confirm your setups for you. And you're really going to be going, what I go for typically on a, like, let's say ES, I'm really looking between 2 and 4 points per trade. And my stop loss is usually 1 to 2 points, 1.5 to 2 point stop loss. And so roughly 2 to 1. If you can do better than that, some people go for 5, 6 points, but the market's not. You got to kind of take whatever the market's giving you that day. So you do want to look at another tool I could recommend that is also included in NinjaTrader. You don't need to buy it. Is an ATR for each instrument. So the ES is going to have a different average trading range than the NQ and the YM. So your stop loss shouldn't be the same for ES as it is for YM. Okay, you have to use different stop losses based on the trading range of that instrument. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. They think, okay, I'm just going to have a certain amount of stop loss, tick stop. Well, that's great, but if it tends to move 30 points versus 3 points, you're going to find yourself in a lot of losing trades. So learn how to use the ATR. It's free, it's included in the platform, and that'll show you what the range is for the day. You can also just base it on the opening range. If there's a tight trading range for the day and you're trading breakouts, then your stop would be near the breakout area. And there's other little tips and tricks. But again, I'm not here to go over all of that today. This was really just to present to you the order flow tools from NinjaTrader to hopefully save you guys all money from having to go and spend another $3,000 buying third-party add-ons that sell the same exact tool. So that's what I'm offering. It's what's the grand total on that? It's $0, guys. So any questions? I think that's it. Do you want to take that last slide out and knock that outside? And I'll look over the questions.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all that information with NinjaTrader and all the tools that they offer. And a lot of these are free with their platform. And like Paul was saying, everything that we showed you today, anything with the course or the chat room is completely free. All it took was a little bit of your time, and we tried to keep it quick as possible. But this is our thank you for attending. The chat room is free to join. All the information today is free for you. All my videos on Pinnacle Trading YouTube channel and social media are free for you to access. You don't need to spend any money on silly tools or indicators or alert systems or pay for a chat room, which costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, a year, and so on. Save that money, put into real education, find a mentor, whether it's me, Paul, or someone else that's successful. I not only do this, but also talk my other channel a little bit here. But the key things to take away is NinjaTrader's trading software and futures ability, and also learning everything with Pinnacle Trading course that I offer and everything that Paul offers. So combine it all together to kind of find out what you want from trading, what you want from the stock market itself. So if you want to trade to just have some fun, you can do that, and that's totally fine without any education. But if you want to take trading seriously, and if you want to, put some money in, if you want to be hands-off trader, a passive trader, we have options for that. We have strategies for that. If you work a full-time 9 to 5 job, I work full-time as an engineer, but I still do some tradings here and there, and also have weekly plays that I put out options, which makes me some extra income. And you can also scale that to make you full-time income. And that's another strategy. If you want to be a long-term investor, If you have long-term like 401k, whatever it is, if you just want to invest for long-term, we have strategies for that. If you want to be a full-time trader, I've successfully, helped a lot of people who are completely new to trading. They were about 30, 40, 50 years old, and now they trade full time. They quit their jobs and they've traded full time. If you want to do that, we have all of that in the course. It just depends on what you want to, you have to figure out what you want for yourself. But we offer you all of these tools. All you have to do is pick your, take your pick from the pot and see what you get. And then you kind of put it together and we guide you in the right way with any questions, anything like that. Message us anytime. But again, we want to see all of you join the chat room. It's free to join. We have a lot of great alerts and things like that in there. And last thing, today's discount on the course, it's only $297. You may have thought the course was $1,000, $2,000, or we offer something like a couple $100 a month. We don't do any of that. It's a one-time price. It's lifetime access. We always update it. We always support you in the best way that we can. So if you have any questions, I'll go through the chat right now. I know that was a lot, but guys, thank you so much for joining. And also, I want to give it off to Paul for the quick closing.
Yeah, thank you guys. So great point, Sai. Just want to answer a couple quick questions here. The zero line, I added it manually to the person that asked about that on the cumulative delta. You can add the line from your platform or on the chart. You right click on the cumulative delta, and it should allow you to the tool should pop up, and you could just add a horizontal line there. And then I enter the value as 0. What else? Other than that, there wasn't too many questions, so I think we kind of nailed it. Kind of went through everything. Yeah, guys, there's really the goal for me to show you setups or how to use the order flow tools is for you to be able to do this on your own. I'm not offering alerts. I trade full time. So in the morning, so I don't have time to run a chat room or a subscription service where you come in and we give out trade alerts for like futures and whatnot. But I will show you how to use the tools. I'll answer your questions, and I'm not charging for that information or my time to do that, just because I do it when I have time to do it. So I'm happy to try to help those of you that are maybe trying to figure a couple things out. Those of you that are less experienced or even newer, really got to buckle down and just put some time into screen time into it. And whether it's trading on paper, which is one way to do it, but it does help if you have a live account and you trade the micros, you take your lumps, you're going to have losses. That's part of trading. Everyone talks about that. But when you start losing money on trades, you start learning more because your brain has a way of processing that trauma to force you to kind of remember. Like, I learn more from my losing trades than I do from my winning trades. And that's something you're going to hear often from people that trade consistently or that trade professionally, because it is a more traumatic experience when you lose capital. When you win, endorphins are there, you're on a high and you feel like you're on cloud 9. It's just unfortunately not as beneficial. So the best way to do it is to start with a small account, put some money in it, start taking small trades, learn how to use the few tools that you're going to use. Take tools off. If you have too many indicators on there, start trying to figure out how you can remove indicators from your screen so that you can process your entries a little quicker, so your brain doesn't have to overload trying to figure out if that's a good signal or not. And that's another problem a lot of traders run into, is you add 20 indicators to your chart. I was there. I did that. I had every indicator and you can imagine on my charts at one point. And then you go through this cycle where you have everything and then you get rid of everything. And then things just start to click. You start to realize this works or this doesn't work. And the market starts to make more sense to you. And you can basically consolidate your tools into just a few tools. What I showed you today, everything that's included on the platform, you don't need to buy anything else. And there was I didn't even have moving averages on there. You could put a couple moving averages on there if you like, but I didn't even do that because it's not necessary. The VWAP alone kind of gives you what you need. But if you want to add a couple more confirmers, that's fine, do that. But when you start adding too many things, it creates kind of a deer in the headlights scenario, and you're unable to react to things. So that's kind of all I wanted to say about that. Any other questions? Feel free to join the Discord. Again, it's free, and you guys can message me in there.
Yeah, guys,
Other than
thank
that,
you.
thank you for coming.
Thank you for adding on to that. Just 30 seconds. I want to throw something out there. We don't like sell anything that's monthly or repeating. We offer a one-time course, and we'll help you throughout the lifetime that Paul and I are on in the chat room. Whether you want to message us one-to-one. And another thing I see, yes, the website. That's an error on my part. It does. I need to have the website manager update the security on that. But I did post a direct course link on that, and also the chat room. You can join for free using the Discord link as well. So if you have any questions, just message me at psy@pinnacletrading.us. Again, that's psy@pinnacletrading.us. You can. This webinar will be recorded for future viewing. It will also be on my Pinnacle Trading YouTube channel. And last thing I want to say, if you are interested on my channel, you can also find my finance channel that I recently started that covers more on stock market, real estate, investing, crypto, and like managing finances and things like that. So that's my new channel that I started out. If you are interested in that, but I want to see all of you in the chat room. It's free to join. Thank you so much for joining the webinar, and I hope you all have a great day.
Perfect. And then Thomas, I'm not sure if Ninja, if you guys have questions about the lifetime version, because Ninja offers different versions of the platform. From time to time, they run different promotions. I don't know if there's anything going on currently, but maybe Thomas can talk about that or send that out via email. I'm not sure. But, you know, just in case those of you who are thinking of upgrading or holding off because of the cost, you know, everyone's in different situations. So, but feel free to ask me any questions in the chat or in the Discord, and I'll turn it over to Thomas. Thank you all.
All right. Well, thank you again to Cy and Paul for taking the time to share with us today. If you enjoyed today's session, we hope to see you in future webinars. Follow us on social media for alerts about upcoming events and other NinjaTrader ecosystem news. We would like to remind you that the information provided was that of Pinnacle Trading and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem.